everyone, and welcome to the Love Like Crazy podcast. We're your hosts, Jay and Stacey Coleman, and we have a very exciting episode for you today.
Hold on. I know that you're excited about our guests that are with us today.
Oh, I am.
Before you introduce them, I want to take just a quick moment. I want to thank all of our listeners for you guys helping us so much to build this podcast. If you're enjoying this, like, subscribe, share. Leave a comment, give us a review. And once I say this, I think every episode, we love to hear your ideas as to what you would like to see us do with different episodes as far as ideas, stuff like that. So thank you guys. And just like you, I'm fired up about today's episode. Yes. It's going to be absolutely
Well, we have
amazing.
some returning guests today. Our son and daughter-in-law, Tyler and Brittney, are joining us again today. And so we have had a discussion with them before about family, and I believe it was episode 10, if you want to go back and listen to that. And today we're going to just talk a little bit more and about their lives and stuff.
Now, if you watch that episode, there's one particular part of that episode that I made a proclamation. I'm not going to say I'm a prophet. I'm not going to say that, maybe I am. Maybe the Lord has gifted me in this area, but I'm not going to say that, but maybe.
Well, you were kind of foretelling a little bit.
Maybe so. In fact, check this out from the previous episode. And the big news you're sharing with everybody on the podcast today is you're expecting again.
Stop.
No.
Pause. Cut that.
So let's welcome back Tyler and Brittney.
It is so good to be back. All three of us.
All right. So if you watch the previous episode that we did with you guys before, I actually made a statement on there where I was like, hey, is there something you want to share with everybody? And y'all were like, what are you talking about? No, you didn't. You had no idea then that you were pregnant.
No. And let it be known, we were not pregnant when we did that episode.
That's true.
We were not pregnant.
Yeah, there were people, because that episode released right about the time that y'all let the word out.
That you announced.
Yes.
And but you did not know at that time, and I just called it. I'm called it. So
yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So this is going to be baby number 4.
Baby 4.
And you do not know if this child's a boy or a girl.
We do
We're
not.
all going to be surprised.
Now remember that I saw it, and I'm speaking this as well. I keep saying that this is going to be twin boys.
No.
Twin boys.
I don't think you're a prophet.
That is not
actually.
it. We know it's only one. We just don't know what the gender is.
Well, I know y'all have not had an ultrasound as far as where y'all saw the gender, but I believe that those babies, notice I said that, they're in the womb and they're lined up where you can only see one, and their heartbeats are synchronized. And so whenever you give birth on April the 27th,
no, that's your
I already
birthday.
gave you one on the 27th.
Yeah.
Our second is also on the 27th.
Hudson was born on my birthday.
Right.
Now
you only get one grandchild born on your birthday.
Well,
Okay,
it'd be a lot easier to remember all of them.
And we could
on
have
one day.
big party for everybody on the same day.
Absolutely. So, regardless, all joking aside, it's exciting.
It
I
is.
know
It
that
is.
Tyler, once the shock wore off, you were probably excited.
Yeah. No, I made the joke earlier that once the shock wore off at the end of January, then I started to get excited. But I mean, we were both shocked, and then we quickly turned into excitement, and we're just like, yeah, let's do this thing. One more. What's one more?
What's one more? Okay,
Yeah, we're not going to say that after this, but yeah.
It's just one more, mouth to feed, one more college education, one more. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
Yeah, don't bring it down. Well, yes, it's your 4th child for you guys, but it's our 5th grandchild, because from the time that the last episode aired, your brother had his first baby. So, and she's about 5 months old now.
Yeah, it's active. It's active in the Coleman house.
Yes. So the cousins are going to be really close together. It's gonna be great.
And when we do a family night and y'all bring all the kiddos over, it gets pretty cray cray up in here.
Yeah.
So I love it.
It can get a little loud.
I'm just like, hey, y'all have all the babies you want. I personally, this is just me. I think you ought to go for an even dozen, not a dozen,
Nope.
half dozen. Half dozen's good.
We'll probably end up with a
6.
dozen grandchildren by
We're
the time it's
we're
over.
good at 4.
That's
what I'm hoping
for.
for.
We were good at
6.
3, and then 4 happened, so we're good at 4.
You know what? After 3, it's just like whatever. So I say 6 is the number.
No.
Oh.
And remember,
disagree with you.
I speak these things.
Yeah, but we stopped at 3 too.
No. 4 is good. We were recalling, thinking back after marriage conference to the time we were dating, and I was telling Tyler, I was like, do you remember when we were dating? And I used to always tell him, I'm going to have 4 kids by the time I'm 30. So maybe I'm the prophet because
And
I'm going to have 4
to-
kids.
I used to
by the
tell
time
her
I'm 30.
I don't want any kids, and yeah, here we are. So
Yeah.
Hey,
And you
look,
love all your babies.
I do.
Yes.
did we ever talk about how many kids we wanted before we got married?
I'm not quite sure that we did. I
It-
can't remember that far back.
If you would have told me you wanted 4 kids, I might would have been like, peace out.
no, didn't scare me away. You
Okay.
know.
Okay, that's true love right there. Well, actually, there was a girl that I was friends with in high school. We kind of liked each other a little bit, and she made a comment that she wanted lots of kids. And I ran into her at a reunion one time, and she had, I don't know, like
She
30
had a,
kids.
She had a lot of kids.
I think
I don't
she had
remember.
6 or 7, but it was
Mhm.
like, man, she wasn't kidding. She wanted a lot of kids.
Yeah.
And her and her husband, sweet couple, good family. But three was enough for us.
Yes, yeah.
So, Brittney, tell us this. As you guys are prepping, getting ready for this
Baby
child,
number 4. Yes.
what does that look like?
You may be really honest.
Yeah.
We
Mhm.
haven't done anything.
Okay. Now, that is straight up honest.
And we're
We-
really close. Okay.
Yeah, we are close, but there's a great difference between the time you have your first kid and you have the nursery ready. The
Mhm.
bags are packed at like 30 weeks at the latest, all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, we are 33 weeks, and my mom bought us a box of diapers. And
What did you think? You're just going to wrap the child in paper towels? If we
no. I
Once-
mean, we'll get some we have like a couple gender neutral outfits, but
We'll stop at Walgreens on the way home from the
I
hospital.
mean,
actually,
basically,
we did
like-
talk about doing a pickup order on the way
Yeah.
home of like some clothes and some more diapers and stuff. But as far as like the material things go, we really haven't done much because we're just realizing like as long as you have diapers, wipes, and a couple clothes, we have a bassinet.
Mhm.
Like you're
about
good.
it. Yep.
You're
Mhm.
good.
Which was kind of the
But-
mindset with the last one, but we were probably a little bit more
Prepared.
prepared
Yeah.
than we are now. Like
Yeah.
now we're just like, okay, one, where is this kid gonna go?
Yeah.
We only have 3 bedrooms in our house, and the
Living room.
youngest is in one, the 2 older ones are in one, and we're like, well, this one can just go in the closet over there. Like,
yeah. Yeah.
Well, what you could do is you could build like instead of bunk beds, they can be like cribs like that. One for Ella, one for
Uh-huh.
the baby, like cribs.
Yeah.
that actually sounds
Yeah.
like a great idea. We should
But-
patent that.
As far as like in our household, the preparations with like our family, it's just I feel like it's just like talking to the kids. I mean, they just did this with Ella, so they're very familiar with it. They're very excited. They're very, very
Mhm.
excited. But we really haven't done anything.
No, we haven't done anything at all.
Well,
Well, I'm honestly looking forward to the vacation we're gonna get at the hospital,
Yeah.
like because that's what
Yeah.
you have that many kids. That's what
It's like room service.
It
It
is.
is.
It's
It's
like
like,
a little-
you're just hanging
Mhm.
out.
It's like the most expensive all inclusive we've ever been to.
Yeah.
I think the question should be for us, are we prepared for them to have another baby? Because we're going to be helping out with the other
Oh,
children
I'm like, what
Yeah.
do I need
while
to
they go
prepare
on
for?
their
Yeah.
vacation to the hospital.
So what, you're,
Yeah.
so what you're saying is I should rest up in preparation
Yes,
for their trip.
I think so. I
Yeah.
think we need to have some activities planned for these older grandbabies.
Yeah,
we
can
during
do
that
that,
time.
but they're going away to a lush resort on the other side of Baton
all-inclusive.
Rouge, all inclusive,
All-inclusive.
and they get the souvenir of a lifetime.
Yeah.
When they leave.
Yeah.
For a lifetime, yes.
Yeah.
It's like the souvenir T-shirt that you just keep forever,
Yeah.
but different,
Yeah.
very, very different.
Yeah.
My parents went to Women's and Children's Hospital. All I got was a stinking T-shirt and a baby.
Yeah.
Well, it's exciting. I know that whenever you're prepping, getting ready for a new baby, I got to say that this is, you're right, vastly different because I remember when Olivia, we're prepping for her. I'm talking like designer, stroller,
Oh, we were
getting everything
ready.
We went all
ready.
out. Yeah.
And by the 4th child, you're just like, hey, pick that bottle up off the ground over there and feed it to them.
Yeah. Yeah.
But-
A lot changes from 1 to 4. You just realize like everything that's not actually necessary.
Yeah. So we have been talking a lot about how people do the Instagram stuff where they'll go on and post the perfect picture of the house, the kids, the family, all that type of stuff. But behind the scenes and behind the filters, you get to really get a picture of what real life looks like. You always see the perfect, you don't really get to see the real life. Are there any of those pictures like where it's absolutely perfect? Because I'd imagine 4 kids, it's got to get a little crazy up in y'all's house.
Do we even have a perfect picture? That'd probably be the first thing.
No.
Yeah, I don't know. Every picture has the background story to it. Like I love the iPhone Live feature because when
Yeah.
you hold the picture down, it'll show you what was actually happening for the few seconds
Mhm.
around it.
Mhm.
And typically someone's screaming.
Yeah.
The kids, never me. I never scream.
How many times do I get on the phone with you and I'm like, I hear the kids screaming in the background. I'm like, all right, I'll talk to you
Yeah,
later.
I'll let you
Every
go.
single time.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just we embrace the chaos.
It's the
So,
season you're in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and I think people know that and people get it. Like especially other families with young kids. It's like
Mhm.
you can tell you're in the same season as me because they like give you the look of like it's okay. Just let them
Right.
go. And I'm
Right.
like, okay.
Well, and it's okay that your
Thank
house
you.
isn't spotless like the
No.
pictures on Instagram. I always say, hey, my house looks lived in. I mean, we
Yeah.
live here and there's activity that goes on. So
Well,
it's fun.
I know whenever we were raising you and your brothers that it was like going on a vacation every day to get up and go to work because it was kind of,
Appreciate
active
that.
and crazy in the house.
Wait a minute. I was a stay-at-home mom,
Yeah,
so
you
you would
stayed-
go to work and
Uh-huh.
leave
Yeah,
them
I'm
with
like,
me.
all right, I'm leaving to go on my vacation
Yeah.
because to get away from the craziness. But
No, I thoroughly enjoyed being a stay-at-home mom and being able to take care of my babies, even though you were escaping
well,
Yeah.
it wasn't just that. I was having to work approximately 120 hours a week to
to
allow
keep
you
everybody
to have
fed.
that lifestyle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now, Brittney, you're a stay-at-home mom.
I am.
How's that working out for you?
It is awesome. It is like dream come true. I don't know how to feel bad because I'm like, I know how hard he works, but it's something that we fought for, I guess, for 4 years
Mhm.
while we were in that waiting season of trying to make it happen. But when I tell you the days are very long and there is days
Mhm.
where I need a break and that's okay. But I wouldn't trade it for the world.
You're not just laying
That's
on the
good.
couch all day long and eating
Eating
bonbons.
bonbons. That's
No.
what Dad
Oh,
used to
no.
accuse me of. Was like,
There ain't no way you used
what
to tell her
are
that.
you? No, he
It was
really
a,
did.
It was a joke.
That
He
is
really-
Jack.
he
I
said,
was
he said,
just
"What are you-"
joking.
He said, "What are you doing? Just sitting on the couch watching Oprah eating bonbons?"
Oh,
and I
yeah.
was like, because I would have like,
yeah, while
say,
you're on vacation.
so I'd have
It
this,
was a
like,
joke.
this, pile of laundry, on the couch,
Uh-huh.
and he would fuss about it, and I would say, I finally told him, that is not the same pile of laundry. I've already folded that
Yeah.
pile. This is a different pile of laundry that I have not gotten to yet.
Now, all the mamas that are watching or
You've
listening
never
to
bought me
this,
bonbons. I've never even eaten those.
I actually
bought
don't even
you
know what a bonbon
bonbons.
is.
I bought you truffles.
There you go.
Okay. All the
That was
moms
my
who
joke.
are listening to this or watching this now hate me. So, well, look, I know for us, having her at the place where she was able to be a stay-at-home mom was
Mhm.
awesome.
Mhm.
And so there's just so much, you get that time with the kiddos and it's just so precious.
Yeah.
So I'm excited that you get to do that.
I am
yeah.
too. It is not anything that I take for granted. I mean, it's like I know it's a big privilege, and like I said, I don't take it for granted. It is like one of the best things I've ever done,
Now-
and one of the hardest things I've ever
Now,
done.
Yeah.
recently you have become a baker.
Oh,
You
yeah,
have
tell us
started
about
baking
that.
sourdough
Well,
bread
I mean-
and brought cookies. I want to
You've been
throw
the
you under
taste
the bus
tester to
here.
that.
Yeah, I want to throw you under the bus here. I've been promised sourdough bread and it has not happened.
It's proofing right now.
it's proofing,
actually.
So
But she also provides some very delicious chocolate chip cookies and what was the
Yeah,
other
Snickerdoodles.
snickerdoodles
Snickerdoodles,
at Christmas.
yeah,
Those were
pies.
divine.
I'm
Getting
not,
Yeah.
into the royal icing.
Cinnamon rolls.
now,
Yeah, she does her
cinnamon
own
rolls.
cookies.
I'm not
Yeah.
as big into the chocolate chip cookies. They were okay.
Oh
You
no,
want
they were
some
delicious.
Hold on,
Snickerdoodles?
hang on. It needs to be known that I'm not a huge fan of stuff that's super sweet. Like you love chocolate chip cookies. They're not my favorite. The snickerdoodles, though,
Okay.
goodness gracious alive.
Well, I love it all, Brittney.
Hold on,
It's
hold on.
delicious.
Your cookies are terrible, but that one cookie you make is really good.
No, it's kind of like this. If you go to a cookie store and you have to pick out cookies,
Yeah.
you're going to pick your favorite.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
there's two kind of cookies that are my favorite: the snickerdoodles or oatmeal raisin cookies.
Oh, goodness.
Brittany,
There's
You will
something for you
never
to
catch me
try.
making oatmeal raisin in my kitchen.
get out of my house right now. Brittany.
Never. That
Oh.
is mm-mm.
You won't learn to make them just for me?
No.
Goodness gracious!
That's a true love coming
No,
out right
but,
there.
But I am learning, hopefully in the next month, maybe right before this baby comes, to make homemade ice cream.
Oh my
Okay.
goodness.
I wonder what a
That's
cookie,
great.
what a chocolate chip cookie would look like if you had the dough and you just didn't put the chocolate chips in it.
it would just be like a sugar or
It'd
vanilla
just be
cookie.
cookie, not chocolate chip. It'd just be
Yeah.
cookie.
Yeah.
The reason why I'm saying that is because the chocolate chips, whenever I bite into them, they're so sweet.
We are all
That-
looking at
that's-
you like you're weird. I'm just saying.
I'm not weird.
That's
I'm
weird.
a thinker.
These chocolate chip cookies, but oatmeal raisin cookies.
They're delicious.
I'd like chocolate
Oh.
chip cookies
I'll
They're
without
have
the
a
delicious.
chocolate
loaf of
chips.
sourdough hopefully this
That's a
weekend for you.
terrible take,
All right.
man.
Everybody's listening to this and they're like, this is the dumbest episode. They're talking about cookies.
Oatmeal
Yeah.
And diapers.
raisin cookies.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get into some real good stuff here. Mama, you
Mhm.
want to jump in that direction?
Well, I want to kind of talk about, like, are there any certain like life lessons as you're preparing for your fourth child? Are there any like life lessons that maybe you are specifically wanting to pass down to your kids as you're at home with them, as you're
Yeah. So me as a stay-at-home mom and Tyler is out working, providing, making all the money to pay the bills and stuff. For me to have the kids at home, they don't see the full sacrifice of everything that's happening. What they see is dad is gone and you're always here. So for me, being home with the kids pretty much 24/7, it is something that's very important to me and to you too. But I always make sure our kids honor and respect what Tyler is doing. And that is something I want them to carry on forever. You know, if they ever make like a comment like, well, dad's always gone, or why is dad not here? I quickly like nip it in the bud. And I'm like, listen, dad is gone right now because dad is helping us provide for you to do dance and Hudson for you to do t-ball. And I want them to understand and respect him and what he's doing, but then honor like how he's providing for our household, because that is very important. And then I'm hoping in return of that, they will honor and respect what he's doing. Because I realized I'm like the thermostat in our household. And if they see me having a negative attitude or talking negative, they're going to replicate that. And I'm like, no, we're going to honor and respect him as your dad, and then you as my husband and the leader of our household.
Tyler,
that area.
you want to have anything you want to add to that?
Cool. No, no. I for me it's a little different because I'm not there as much. So like a lot of times, like I'll feel like I'm coming in and it's just immediately put on the hat of like the disciplinarian. Like I just gotta like, you know, take care of these kids right now. But I think like the biggest thing for me, just me right now, is just teaching them to be kind and teaching them to be compassionate. Like Hudson is all into the superhero movies right now. And so I let him watch the, you know, the more appropriate superhero movies. You know, we'll watch the scenes and stuff. Like he loves Captain America, and just kind of taking the life lessons from those movies about being compassionate for other people. Like that's what, you know, a hero is like, you know, and then they're just also brother and sister and they fight all the time. So,
like
making sure he doesn't Hulk smash his sister, but like just making, you know, teaching them to be kind. It's a very difficult thing to do, but it's something that, you know, it's just heavy on my heart, like just in the season that we're in, because they do squabble all the time.
Yeah.
And that's not going to go away because they're siblings, but just teaching them to be compassionate and kind. And, you know, we go back to Proverbs, and a friend is loving at all times. That's what we tell them all the time. And, you know, we're just trying to raise them to be loving, compassionate, kind towards each other, you know. So one of the things that I've been learning in this season, you know, I've gone through a lot of career transition over the last, you know, year, and then more recently in the last few months. And I think for me, like one of the biggest things that I'm learning is just where to place my time. I think it's in the very, very busy seasons of life, it's real easy to just kind of get caught up in the cycle, and you know, you're moving so fast. It's kind of like a ceiling fan where it's like, you can't even see where you're going or how it's moving. But the second you put your hand up there, it's going to hit you real hard. I did that as a kid. That's why I used it as an example. But,
I know I replaced the ceiling fan.
But I think like for me, it's just, you know, I want I value my time with Brittney and with the kids and, you know, with my family. And it's just, for me, it's learning where to value and place that, the very sacred time that we have each and every day. And so it's like, I know I work a lot to provide for the family outside of what I'm doing at the church as well. And that just comes with learning how to balance it. And it's a constant balancing act, you know?
Well, and all of our listeners may not know this, but because we've talked about, not on this episode, but when we had you guys before, that you work for us at the church. You're our worship pastor. You were the worship pastor / student pastor, but you're no longer the student pastor. You're now just strictly the worship pastor. And over the last year, you went more on a part-time basis. Now you're back at the church full-time. And I think that one of the things that you're like, Dad, for her to be a stay-at-home mom, I have to have a side hustle. And so that's why we say things like, this episode is sponsored by Pelican Foundations for all your concrete needs. So, but the point is, you're super busy. There's just a lot going on.
Yeah, because it's like, you have like ministry's already busy in general, and it, because you're dealing with people constantly, and we do ministry together now, but especially when we were doing student ministry, it was just like, man, what is not happening this week was almost kind of the question we would ask. But ministry's already busy, and then life is busy, and we have so many children, but then also you tack on, I have more responsibility on top of that, and for me, it's just learning where to place that time. And it's, hey, sometimes it's Brittney fussing at me for being on my phone when we're sitting at the dinner table, because I'm trying to hey, I got to get this lined up for tomorrow, but it can wait. At the end of the day, most anything can wait, but I'm, just learning how to place my time where it needs to go.
I love it. I love it.
Well, I just want to say how very proud that that we are of y'all, because I think y'all are doing a great job, and I know this is going to be an interesting new season, adding another child into the mix. But I know y'all can do it. It's gonna be good.
Well, one of the things that's a blessing to me, and I know it is to you as well, is to see how close knit your family is.
Mm-hmm.
I remember, I think it was your dad made a comment about our family, because your family growing up, you and your mom and sister were, but he was a workaholic.
Yes.
And so he saw the way that we did family, and he made that comment,
that we were
very
close
knit family. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, that stuck with me. And so I see that in y'all, and it really blesses my heart. So
Mm-hmm.
I echo what Mom is saying. We're very proud of y'all.
Yes,
Love y'all.
absolutely.
And you're doing a good job. Keep it up.
Appreciate it.
Keep after this baby, keep it up. Keep
No.
having babies.
No.
6. Remember that. I must keep praying
Oh
for that.
my goodness.
All right.
Jay,
So
stop.
last thing, what is some encouragement that you would have for any young families who might be listening? Young moms, young dads. What are your thoughts? Just something to encourage them.
So to go off of what you were just saying about having a close-knit family, the dynamic of my household growing up was my parents were always in the workplace. So my encouragement for young families, and this is just something that is very, very heavy on my heart for my family, is to have a close-knit family. I do stay home with my kids, so it is already different than how I was raised, but that is something that I tell Tyler I will fight for till the end of time. Like, we will sit down and have family dinner. We will have family nights. We set up movie nights for our kids in our living room. Like, we blow up an air mattress or just get the pillows out.
It's a lot of fun.
Or whatever. But that is, I think, one of the biggest encouragements I can give is to prioritize your family time, because it is so important. And I mean, life now is the hustle and bustle. It's all about making the money. And I know those things are necessary, but there should be nothing that comes before prioritizing your family time. So even if he does have a quote to send out, or we have things that need to get done, like it's bath night and it's just crazy, we can take 30 minutes or even 20 minutes, whatever, and sit down. We're going to have family time. We're going to eat dinner together, no phones. Like, let's just talk to our kids and have conversations. And you and I can talk, everything right now is screens and craziness.
Yeah.
And
I think what's kind of, cool is you see the different dynamics. We had a household where she was a stay-at-home mom, but there was a lot of sacrifice. We did not get to do a lot of the things maybe other families were doing because we didn't have any money.
We didn't take a lot of elaborate vacations and things like that either.
And I know your parents, and I know that your family is close, but your mom and dad were busy in the workplace and basically just living the life that almost probably most of our listeners and every other American is doing.
And that's what we did for years before.
Right.
I mean, she's only been staying home for like a year and a half now.
Yeah. And you just get to the place where you're like, you know what, we're going to sacrifice. We're going to do this so that we can have, talk about that close knit family to where we're together all the time.
Yeah. Well, it was just, that was a priority for us, is that he wanted me to stay home and I wanted to stay home and raise our kids. So for us, it came down to what's going to be best for our family. What sacrifices will we sacrifice to make this happen? But my encouragement, even if you're not in the place where you can make those sacrifices financially yet, my encouragement would still be prioritize your family. I know 8-hour work days, 12-hour work days, they are long. And then you have kids on top of that and homework and sports and everything else. But even if it's like you're at the ballpark for t-ball practice or soccer practice, go through the drive-thru, get some food, open up your trunk and sit there and have family time before or after practice. I think whatever season you're in, you can find the time to prioritize sitting down and just having that family time. Make it intentional.
Yes, very important.
And I think it kind of comes down to, if you worked a 10-hour day and you're stressed out, you're an 8-year-old kid. They don't know that. They don't care about that. They just want to see mom or dad.
Right.
And they just want to spend time with mom or dad.
Yeah.
So
that's good. And you can never go wrong by, being intentional to make that family time. Because when you get to our stage in life, you realize just how fast time goes by. They grow so quickly. And in that moment, in that season, like where you're at right now, you may think, well, I've got all the time in the world. They're little, but it changes so quickly.
Oh, yeah.
It's going very fast.
Well, and I think it comes down to this. You realize you got to pay the bills, but you got to prioritize your family time.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the thing. It's every family's got to sit down and figure out what's important to them, because every family is different. But for us, it is we're having family dinner. We're sitting down and we're eating.
Well,
so,
even as a stay-at-home mom, you can get to where, as a family, you could get to the place where you don't really spend a lot of quality time together just because you start going through the routines of life.
Yeah.
And so I think you kind of hit the nail on the head to prioritize, make sure that we're going to have good quality family time together.
Yeah.
So
you can make it happen wherever you're at. Ballpark, anywhere.
Yeah.
That's
anything
good.
You want to add
Creative.
to that?
Yeah. I mean, I guess going off of that, we actually just started a young adults ministry at the church, and we're helping out with that. So I've actually gotten to spend a lot of time with, ones that are just now getting married and they're, all excited, young families, stuff like that. Probably the best encouragement that I can give anybody that is maybe like a young family, just do it. If you want kids, just have kids. If you, want to, take the job you don't feel qualified for, figure it out, be a professional, just go do it. Like, just stop worrying about like, well, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to afford all these kids. I asked all the same questions. I'm still breathing. Like we like it's nothing that isn't doable. And I think at the end of it, like, kind of coming back to the root of it, it's just, honoring God in all things, glorifying God in all things. And that gives you the strength to carry through the things that you feel like you can't do right now. So yeah, have more kids than you feel like you need to have, buy the house, do the things, like just do it. Just do it.
Okay. All right. All right. Anything you want to add?
I think this is a wonderful conversation that we're having today, and I appreciate you guys coming back to be our guest again.
All right. So it's been a great episode today, and it's been a lot of fun. We cut up a little bit. Me and Brittney, we love to cut up. So Brittney, I'm looking forward to those oatmeal raisin cookies that you're gonna make for me.
Tyler won't allow that in our home.
Don't count on that. It's not happening.
So we love you guys. We're proud of y'all, and thank y'all for joining us today.
But like, hey, look, before we end, I just wanted to say this. I appreciate that y'all are proud of us and proud of me and what we're doing. But, I really do have to say, like, it's kudos to y'all. Y'all did a great job raising me, Bryce, and Reese. And, I think me and, my brothers, we talk about it like all the time, how we just really enjoyed the way that we grew up. I mean, we really do. And not only just from the way we grew up, but just from the principles and the raising us to know God, raising us to walk in the things of the Lord. And so I just wanted to say thank y'all, and just for everything. I don't I don't say that lightly. So, but thank y'all.
Yeah, and if I can add to that, I see a lot of the things that you instilled in Tyler that he's now instilling in our children. And there's so many times where he's like, "Oh, my dad taught me to do this," or "My dad taught me to do this," or "My mom made this sacrifice so that we could do this." And it is something that we look up to and we honor. And those are things that, I was telling you like how I want to make sure that our kids honor and respect what he's doing, but it's because we watch you consistently honor and respect your husband, And so there is so many things that I can see that you instilled in him that now we're putting in our children. So you guys are phenomenal examples to look up to.
Well, thank
Yeah.
y'all. And I think as parents, a lot of times you wonder when you're pouring into your kids, like, man, I hope that this is taking root in their heart. I hope that they're learning. I hope we're not screwing them up.
I know that we're seeing a lot of seeds that we've sown over the years. There's a harvest.
Yep. Absolutely.
So we see that in y'all.
Well, thank y'all. We're proud of y'all,
Yes.
and thank y'all for being with us today.
Yes.
Thank you for
It's
having
been
us.
good.
And to all of our listeners, I hope that you guys have enjoyed this episode today. Once again, please like, subscribe, share this. If you leave us a comment, give us a review, and we cannot wait to be with you guys again in the next episode. As always, I'm Jay,
And I'm Stacey.
and this is Love Like Crazy.